Should and could Antony be leaving Manchester United? I'm going to tell you why he could and why he should leave Manchester United. Vivil staying on at Manchester United in the long term as well. Plenty to get through, along with more updates on Casemiro and what's happening with Jean-Claude Blanc and his new role. Interesting talk to go ahead. Let's get into everything that's going on with Manchester United that's happened over this last few hours over the afternoon. Hope you're all doing fantastically well. This is Forever United TV. I'm Adam. Welcome along to the evening live show, everybody, where we get your comments in from the live section, so get them in now. And if you have missed out, you may be out training or doing something else, or maybe not training or just out and about. I'll get your comments in later when the video is finished as well on all topics we are talking right now. Please give the video a like. 1,000 likes, please. Let's get that done. That's an easy task for you lots. Absolutely smashing it still, as always, on the channel. And obviously, please make sure you've subscribed to the channel as well. Hit that bell notification to make sure that you have not missed any free content around Manchester United. Your loved football club. Well, not completely loved, but still, we're getting over the weekend and we're starting to love them a little bit again as we prepare for the next, hopefully, decent games that are coming up. We'll see, won't we? Anyway, let's get into what is actually going on. Sorry, I'm a tad late. I was just reading up on something before we came live, so just getting some extra details and some information we might be talking about tonight in the show. So do accept my apologies, please, everybody. Welcome along. Hope the chat is bubbling already. I have got a poll going. Look, Antony wants to prove his worth to Ten Hag and prove his worth to United. Will he ever get a chance? A simple yes or no answer in the poll tonight. I'm going to leave that one running for the entirety of tonight's show. So please do let me know what you think. Early doors in that. Well over 200 votes in the first minute. Plenty of people want to have their say on that one. 60% of you are saying no. I actually thought that might be a bit heavier in favour of the no column. But hey, don't let me persuade you. You go for it. What is happening with Antony? Where has this deal come from? Where has the talk come from? Well, very similar to what we were talking about all day regarding Casemiro as a loan deal over to the Turkish league, and that being Galatasaray for Casemiro, their main competitors over in Turkey, Fenerbahce, and of course Jose Mourinho would like to bring in a significant signing himself, and they are looking towards bringing in Antony. Now, if this deal happens or it doesn't happen, it doesn't really matter to United, which is what I'm going to explain in a minute, but I'll go into what was said from Fotomac. Apologies for the pronunciation. Again, if that is wrong, you know what I'm like with that, guys, but that is a publication over in Turkey, and they are reporting that Fenerbahce are now interested in the attacker Antony and are currently engaging in transfer talks with Manchester United. The deal in question would be for a season-long loan, much like Real Betis, who did try to take Antony on loan on the last knockings of the window. Now, actually, I'll read on some more. Actually, I was going to explain what I was going to say then, but I'll just read on more. Despite United rejecting Betis' offer, wanting to sell the winger permanently instead of loaning him, the reports suggest that the deal for Antony will be finalised tonight. Personally, can't see it. I can't. Fenerbahce manager Jose Mourinho is reportedly keen to bring in new additions this summer, having also looked at Victor Lindelof earlier in the transfer window. Any move for Antony is reportedly brought on by Galatasaray's signing of Victor Osimhen, with Fenerbahce wanting to get their own big name signing too. The issue there is, yeah, he may be a big name, but a big name for all the wrong bleeding reasons is what I say when it comes to Antony. I just don't see the realism in this deal and where United are at right now. But why can it happen? Why could it happen? Well, Manchester United were prepared to let Antony go at the last knockings of the window, but only for a permanent deal. Now, we don't know where Manchester United are at with financial fair play and PSR regulations. Obviously, we're saving an awful lot of money, millions, in fact, when it comes to players' wages. And Antony is on a substantial one. Another 200+ thousand a week player on original contract. Obviously, that has been cut with Premier League, with Champions League football not on the table for United this season, like every other playing staff member. 25% cut in wages for not making the Champions League. So his wages have come down. So United have all of the wage bill coming down by 25%, plus the players that they've already got rid of, which is significant, especially with the majority of Jadon Sancho's wages gone. Rafael Varane, Anthony Martial, players like that, saving an absolute fortune. United would be open to letting Antony go. He isn't going to get game time. I don't care what anyone says. He isn't starting games of significance, and he's never going to get a run of more than 3 games because Ten Hag won't give him that chance. He'll have other players knocking on the door who are priority ahead of Antony. He doesn't need him. Plus, we can always play Bruno Fernandes out on the right, and we can also play Mason Mount out on the right if needed. Joshua Zirkzee can also play out on the right-hand side. And let's not forget who else we've got in our squad that could also play there. The names are there. The list is endless. Even with Palestri and Jadon Sancho out the door, Manchester United have brought in another forward in Zirkzee who can play across the front line, and still Manchester United wouldn't need Antony. Even with Sancho and Palestri gone, don't forget, they contributed nothing to United last year, and they've gone. So nothing's changed from last year, but one more player being brought in. And Antony, he's not going to get his chance. He's behind Ahmad. He's behind everyone. It's, to be honest, he shouldn't be behind. Well, yeah, he should be behind Marcus Rashford in terms of what he can, in terms of the output. But let's be honest, Rashford's and Antony's stats from last year are not too dissimilar in the first place. So, really, I don't see why Manchester United would be worried about keeping Antony. The big thing with United is, and what Ineos have always set out and Ashworth has said already, is that if it works for them and it works for the player, then of course he can go. The reason it won't work again is the wages. Like we said with Casemiro this morning, Manchester United don't want to pay Casemiro's wages, and Galatasaray can't afford Casemiro's wages. The only reason Osimhen has gone over to Galatasaray is because I'm guessing Napoli are paying a big chunk just to get him out of the club, and that's their stance on that. Antony, on the other hand, on the money he's on, yeah, it may have come down, but they're never going to be paying more than 100,000 a week for any player. So I can't see it happening. Do United need to move Antony on to meet financial fair play? A massive chunk of Antony's big wage off the bill going into the financial records that need to be handed in by the end of June 2025? Maybe. I don't know. I think we've already got rid of enough. And the money that we've got coming in from sales as well, I think we've balanced the books nicely this summer. But still, Antony has to go down as one of the most pointless signings ever, again, from Ten Hag. I said it before, didn't I? Was it this morning where I was going on about Onana and Heaton? Or was it last night? I can't remember which one it was now. I think it was last night, actually. I was going on about Heaton being a better goalkeeper than Andre Onana. And, yeah, I think he is. I think he is a better goalkeeper. Honestly, the signings that Ten Hag has made have been absolute. Well, not all of them, but you know the majority of them have. I think Antony is up there probably as the worst. I don't care about his price tag. I just think the player has done nothing. I was willing to give him a chance. He had some all right numbers. Nothing great, definitely not for what we paid for him. But like I said before, that's not Ten Hag's fault about how much Manchester United pay for players. That was Murto and Co beforehand. And now we're buying players in for Ten Hag that are worth the money that we're actually paying for them. And there's no excuse. But Antony, in terms of quality, absolute nightmare. Same as Onana. Them two alone. Mason Mount, we didn't look into the injury record. I can understand the player. We didn't need that type of player at the time. That's granted, and that's the argument that we've always had. But still, we did not need Antony. We did not need Mason Mount. We really didn't need Andre Onana at the time. We could have saved money and brought in and put together with what we spent on Mason Mount and Andre Onana and got bleeding Declan Rice. Then we wouldn't be looking at all of these players that we're looking at right now. Agate might have just been a pipe dream or something that was never going to happen. Do you know what? In fact, Manchester United, if Ten Hag was big on bringing in a holding midfielder, and obviously he was banking on Casemiro actually being good from his previous season, I'll grant him that. But Sporting and PSG were negotiating Agate's deal for, what was it, 50 million? At the time, United was spending 60 million on Mason Mount in a position that we didn't need. Because we already had Bruno, we already had Hannibal, we already had Christian Eriksen. We have an abundance of 10s at this football club, and we did last season. So it just goes to show, again, the forward-thinking recruitment planning within this football club before Ineos came through the door was on a level of just complete and utter stupidity beyond anybody's imagination. Honestly, absolutely ridiculous in how we operated before, and we still pay the price now. How United get rid of Antony? That is going to be some Ineos magic. It really is. I just don't see how it happens. Obviously, with people like Christopher Vivil still in situ, we may have a good chance because his services have been noticed, and Manchester United are very, very happy with the contribution Christopher Vivil made to the transfer window. that has just gone, contributing in many ways to a point where he will now, according to the MEN and Ty Marshall, has said Manchester United will have Christopher Vivil in place for the January transfer window. He's contracted till February. That is a temporary contract, but the word coming out of the club is it's now expected to be extended into a more permanent deal, and Vivil is now being seen as someone long-term future for the club who fits in very well with the structure within Manchester United right now, and United want to keep him for longer than the original agreement, which is good news. It is good news. Obviously, with United probably not having loads of money, I think like when you're making calls about Manchester United, you're making calls about bringing in staff, fixing recruitment, and who you actually have within your structure. You have to look at what might actually happen on the pitch. And do you know what? I feel like Christopher... Why do I keep calling him Thomas? Sorry. Christopher Vivil will be that man who finds the gems, finds that hidden talent that doesn't cost a lot. The most substantial signing that Vivil was involved in the summer that everybody's reported about, not just me, was the Kune deal from Guiders FC. He bought 6 players in previously for RB Salzburg, and we all know the history of Christopher Vivil in what he did with the Red Bull Group. And he was the one that brought that player in. He was the one that found that. United were scouting him like everybody else. Like anyone who doesn't think United are not scouting the same players as everyone else on the planet is crazy. We have like nearly 300 scouts around the globe watching every bit of football around. The reports go in, and then it's down to the recruitment people to read them reports, listen in, do their fact-finding as well, and look if them players are any good. Previously, Manchester United would have had the scouts out there, and everyone was going in about the scouts. Like, what are our scouts actually doing? Why are we not bringing in any players? Why are we buying everyone here that's just known to certain managers and known within the world of football? Why are we not uncovering any unknown gems? Why are we spending all this money, over the top money, on these players? Well, look, the scouts were doing their job. They were putting the players on a plate. It's the recruitment and the people in charge at Manchester United and higher up the pecking order that were making the mistakes. They were running the club into the ground. Christopher Vivil is key, because if United don't get Champions League, you might bring another manager in, because that might be the mark that gets Ten Hag sacked. We don't know. But even if Ten Hag is still in situ, you need people like Vivil who are going to bring these players in. His notebook of contacts and young players and young talent around the globe looks like it is vast. So maybe United are looking ahead to this and going, right, okay, if anything, if we need to sort of do good business, save pennies here and there, and actually just make something out of nothing, then maybe keeping all the Vivil is the right choice, because we're going to need everyone at our disposal. And this all revolves around Ten Hag not being able to get this United side over the line and back in the Champions League, where we'll be back into the hundreds of millions mark again in terms of turnovers, with the amount of money that's from the Champions League and UEFA, and then not having to scrape the barrel as such. It all comes down to performance ultimately, but what Manchester United have got, and what I've always banged on about constantly, is the fact that we have got a structure in place that can also get us out of jail a little bit in terms of finding the talent and finding good players, because we are going to have to need it. We are. In terms of the update on Obi Martin as well, that is coming closer to actually being completed. Actually, I'm going to get up let me just get up the report on this one, actually. Let's see if I can find it first of all. Bear with me 1 second, guys. Why is that bloody mouse not working now? Fix the bleeding mouse, Adam. Come on, for God's sake. Right, where are we actually at with it? So let me just pick it up again, guys. Sorry, my bloody computer's playing havoc with a few little things. Right, okay. It would be no surprise if Obi Martin's arrival wasn't confirmed until mid-September at the earliest, as it takes 6 weeks of Premier League ratification with a deal agreed at the start of August. Just keeping everybody updated, because we have plenty of people that come in the chat and actually ask, like, why have we not signed Obi Martin yet? Why is it not over the line? It's the same with Lascelles. It's the same with the young fullback from Australia as well. His name just eludes me at the moment. I can't remember what it was, but you know who I mean. It's the same with the young academy players. It's a bit more complex, let's just say, to get the deals over the line. So really, that's all it is. It's just going through the normal process and everything is still okay. So no need to panic. He is a United player. I think even with the MEN, I think, what did they say now? Denmark under-18s manager Morten Eriksson has given an update on the future of United link Chibo Obi Martin. The 16-year-old left Arsenal in the summer and looks set to join United, although a move is set to be confirmed. Speaking to the Danish media, the player's national coach has now given the latest, with his future set to be sorted in a matter of time. He said, I spoke with him last week and asked if he was fit for the fight and injury-free. He was, and he is between jobs, he told Tip Blastet. I think that's how you say it, the publication. Right now, he doesn't have a club, but it's only a matter of time. After all, a lot happened in the transfer window. We know what he stands for. He added, when I read about him, they have been queuing up to get him. I'm sure a man with that talent will have no trouble finding a club. It might be more about with a club, with which club he chooses. So, yeah, it's all pretty much the formality stuff with Obi Martin, and it isn't far away. So don't stress or worry that that's not happening, or United have, like the old days, managed to ball something up somewhere along the line. No, we're okay. It's all right, everyone. So, yes. Well over 1,100 in the room already. Thank you, everybody. Just over 200 likes. Let's get them likes up, everyone. I'm coming to the chat now to get your comments in. So, let's get some... let's see which ones that stand out. Talk to me about Antony as well, guys. Talk to me about Vivil. Are you happy? Is this the way that United have to operate now? Do we have to accept that we have to drop our standards and we might not be in the Champions League again? Is this what it's all about? We can't be, can we, surely? Because Sir Jim Ratcliffe has promised us we're going to be in the Champions League within 3 years, easily. We will see, won't we? Well, no, actually, he said within 3 years we should see significant change and a difference in performance and where United are actually, where they're actually at. So, let's see. Anana has been disappointing at the moment. Hopefully, it is just rust from the start of the season. Ten Hag himself said players were not ready for the start of the Prem, and he has only had 10 days with some of them. Nah, Mr. Miracle, I'm not having any of that. Sorry, mates. Fair enough, Indy trying to defend players. I get that totally. He was crap last season, and he's crap this season. And if United are not ready, then what hope have we got? Biggest club in the world, not ready for the start of the Premier League season? Well, Arne Slot's had no signings at all. Been in the door 5 minutes. Unbeaten in pre-season. Unbeaten so far this season on top of the league. Not having it. Brighton, up there as well. Arsenal, completely ready. There's one team that stands out in terms of this transfer window and business done, and that's United. And we look nowhere near ready. So I'm not having any... There's no excuses for any player in Manchester United side at all. Not one. Okay, it would be up to Antony if he is in search of respect for his limited efforts. He may choose to go. He doesn't want to go. He's on stupid money and he thinks he's better than what he is. Simple for me. Fred should have not been sold. Sancho should get the same game time as Rashford to prove himself. No, Ashraf. Sancho's a different ball game. He does not deserve the same game time. Nobody deserves game time at Manchester United. You have to earn game time. Like, you don't walk into that team. This is why I think Ten Hag will just ease Agate in. I can still see Casemiro walking out on the pitch against Southampton. Do you know what? I won't be surprised if he does, actually, because like Agate again, game time. I think he may make an appearance off the bench. We will see. Antony was never worth it. He was only just good in the Dutch league. Never really hit big numbers. For that price, he should have been Dutch Player of the Year 2 or 3 seasons. What Murto did for that deal, oh my days. He is an embarrassment, isn't he? An absolute embarrassment, Murto. I think there's a real player in Antony, says Melissa Cornish Maid. He just needs the right manager to allow him to play to the level we've only seen in short bursts. Well, he's only really ever played for one manager, Melissa, ever in European football, and that's Ten Hag. And he's 4th, 5th choice in the pecking order. He isn't getting that chance because he's not good enough. It's as simple as that. Ten Hag thought Ajax could be brought over to Manchester, and perform the same way. He's had a rude awakening, our manager, and some of the players that he has brought in are nowhere near up to the standard that Manchester United requires to even compete for top 4. We want to be challenging for the Premier League and the Champions League. We're just about making top 4 right now, just with all of these players that we're sort of bigging up. I'd love to see him leave. He hasn't the mentality. Nope, I agree. He's had a lot on his plate in terms of personal stuff going on, obviously, that we all know about. So maybe we could add that into Antony, and obviously he's been distracted, certain. But like I said, I love Antony's fight. Like, he's one player that will stick the foot in. He's up for a scrap, Antony. I love that about him. I do. I like his bombing up the line. He's better defensively than Marcus Rashford, guaranteed. But at the end of the day, you need a player that is going to put the ball in the back of the net or provide assists and give us an option going forward. And again, he has been a big part of the problem in Manchester United's Ten Hag era, which is not scoring enough goals. And he's been here from the start alongside his manager that he's played with and got all of them assists and so-called goals in Eredivisie. In fact, what did Antony get? So, Antony's record for Ajax, 83 appearances. Let's just see. Yeah, 83 appearances with 11 goals and 5 assists for United. And that was a massive step down from the 24 and 22 assists he grabbed in one less game in the Eredivisie. So, in 82 games for Ajax, he got 22 goals and 22 assists. In 83 games for Manchester United, he got 11 goals and 5 assists. So, playing the same game time, same amount of games, this is what he produced. There are levels. And I remember Dutch journalists talking about Antony, like saying he was never worth that money. That's fair enough. We all know that. But his numbers in the Eredivisie didn't match up to some players that were completely off the scale number-wise before they moved. Like, you have to really be hitting crazy numbers to be good enough to move to the Premier League from Eredivisie. And his weren't that great. And that was made clear they weren't that great by Dutch journalists talking about this move. They were absolutely flabbergasted that Antony was going, not just for the price, but going in the first place. Let's not forget, the scouts under Ollie's era did look at Antony, and they valued him at 25 million. And Man United paid, 50, 60 million more. Well done, John. Murto, that is. Shiva S says, "Hi Adam, big fan of your channel. Do you feel that if that all Ten Hag is sacked, then Tuchel is the right man, or would you prefer Southgate for?" Southgate, no. I was with that all the way there, and you mentioned Southgate. Look, there is a case for anyone but Southgate, and that argument will always be there. It will. But what you've also got to look at is Man United, I think, have placed Ruud van Nistelrooy there to be intern for this season. Whether or not they feel like he's good enough to carry it on for a full season and give him a contract, I don't know. I think we're all just assuming that Ten Hag isn't going to last the season out. Interesting to see what Teddy Sheringham said compared to what Andy Cole said. I'll come into that in a minute. And two very different opinions right there regarding Ten Hag. But no, I think Tuchel, I've always said it last season, Tuchel's a better manager than Ten Hag. I do. 100% stand by that. But that's just my opinion. I think he would get more out of this team than what Ten Hag has. But like we said, Ten Hag is still in charge, and we have to wait it out. Let's just see what happens. Let's just see where we get to with old Eric. Almost at 300 likes, guys. Thank you so much. Can we get to that 400 live like mark? There is your challenge. We said we want 1,000 in total. 400 well live would definitely help us on the road to that. So keep them likes a flying. Make sure you've hit that subscribe button as well, guys. I know there's over 1,200 in the room with us right now. And obviously, YouTube are telling me that only about 50% of that are actually subscribed. So make sure you do. It's a simple click of the button and you're away. And you won't miss out on anything then. Because we've got something special coming up on Saturday, by the way. Something completely different again. So, yes, always changing it up. You know what we're like here. Still not lived down that live outside of Carrington Gates, waving to the players. Weren't happy. A good manager won't make him quicker, won't make him have a right foot. Look, yeah. Ten Hag, I think, has been as much the downfall for Antony as Antony has himself. I think his attitude isn't right for United. Going off the way he is, I don't think his skill set is right for United. I don't think he's as good as what people think he is. I think we were all intrigued to see what he was all about, and always he was in the Brazilian squads. You don't get in that Brazilian squad unless you've got something. But again, like, players melt at Manchester United, and Antony, I feel it was too big for him. Completely big for him. Too big for him. Antony, it wasn't worth even 20 million, says Jay. Onana looks like a rabbit in the headlights, to be honest, constantly, Jeffers. All of the time, in fact, when you look at him, he fills you with zero confidence. Cornish May says, hopefully Eric will turn it around. Time is ticking. I keep standing by it. I think my clip has gone all over the place from the United view when I went on a bit of a rant the other night about Ten Hag. And I said in that, I still think that Ten Hag will see this season out. I do. Not for all of the right reasons. I just feel like Ineos will not want to bite the bullet so early with their first manager big decision. I also feel like while he is in the Europa League, they know he's got it in him to win a cup. And United can beat anyone on any day. And more often than not, we turn up in cups and we go far in cups. I think they're looking at the Europa League. I'm still convinced they're looking at the Europa League as a get out of jail for Ten Hag. We just have to suffer the league form, unfortunately. It's not right. It's not right because United need to be competing in the Champions League and competing for the Premier League. We need a manager. My pick is MOURINHO. I like it, Malps. Got potential again. Unknown, no, in terms of big league. Gary Downs says, how can you mention Champions League and Manchester United in the same sentence? Have you watched us play in the last 18 months? I have, Gary. I have. I still feel like the team is good enough. And if Ten Hag, if a decision is made on Ten Hag and another manager comes in, even if it's rude, I think a manager bounce gets United to the Champions League places. I do. I don't think he's got it in him. And I said it. Look, I want a manager to be picking up the Champions League and Premier League trophies. Ten Hag will never do that for Manchester United. Whether or not this is a stepping stone manager for the new structure at United and the new regime, we will see. I think Ten Hag can get us to a level and then see you later. There are managers and then there are managers. The latter are the ones that get you to the glories, get you to the promised land. And that promised land is not the Carabao Cup, is not the FA Cup and Europa League. No disrespect to them trophies. You only have to ask Birmingham. You only have to ask Wigan and Portsmouth. They've all won them. Anyone can win the domestic trophies. We've got them in the bag now. Well done. Move on. What's next? What's bigger than the FA Cup? The Europa League, obviously, is the next step. And I do believe it's a concession. It's like a step up, step up, step up continuously. And I think they will look at it as like, that's more improvement. Again, that's a bigger trophy again than the FA Cup because it is. It takes you to that promised land, which is the Champions League. So I feel they will look at that and it will be, look, we've actually improved season on season on season here with Ten Hag because we're now back in the Champions League and we've got 3 trophies in the bag. Who can say that? Honestly, can you imagine Ten Hag with the media if he wins the Europa League and him saying how many trophies we've won then? Oh, I mean, you can't really argue against him. If you get 3 trophies in 3 years, that's not to be sniffed at. And Andy Cole pretty much said the same thing on that. He said, look, he's won 2 trophies in 2 years. That's progress. That is an achievement. Obviously, Andy Cole is an ambassador for Manchester United. You go across to Teddy Sheringham, Eric Ten Hag will be sacked before December. Before Christmas. Anybody from the outside, and this is why you'll get it, like Gary Neville, who is now part of Manchester United and on the books in terms of the task force for building a new stadium. Like, he's in with Ineos and obviously he's talking to United a lot. When he's talking on Sky now and trying to defend United, everybody knows, even Jamie Carragher knows. And I think Carragher has taken advantage of the situation and said, and gone in on him at times, because the most honest opinion is the one from the outside. I've always said it and I've always lived by it. And I'll always accept opposition fans' opinions because they just don't see it with the red-tinted glasses on. I think Teddy Sheringham not working for the club, Andy Cole working for the club, I think says a lot. And the opinions are completely different. And you know why? You know why. Like, everyone at Manchester United, honestly, guys, like, I've seen some of the staff at Manchester United and some of the opinions of the staff And you'll never hear it out in public, obviously. But, yeah, not impressed at all. At all. And, yeah, you are still going to get people come out on certain channels, bigging up United and setting a new level standard. And it's a very low one. And we can't have that. We need to be doing more. But like James said in the clip, like outside of Old Trafford, you've all seen it. It's gone around. It's gone viral everywhere. Saying that the fans are the problem at United as well. And the expectations and turning it into a pressure cooker situation. Players of old at Manchester United thrived on pressure. This is what brought more out of them. We are just finding the wrong players. And then James actually came back later on in that clip and said it is a mentality issue. You cannot keep underperforming. You cannot afford to come out and say, look, we have to drop our standards just because the players are not good enough. These players are good enough, technically. They just don't have the minerals. They don't have the balls, the kahunas, as Troy Deeney would say, to handle what's being thrown at them and the expectation level that's there at Manchester United. It's as simple as that. I honestly can't see us finishing in higher than 6 due to the fact everyone in the Premier League raises their game against us. We can't cope with it. If we don't win Europa, I'm Erik Ten Hag out. That's going to be a lot of Erik Ten Hag outers because we cannot go another season out of the Champions League. Look, all of the sponsorship deals, things like that, all start getting affected. We just become that team now that's not expected to be there. More often than not, we've managed to bounce back and get in to the Champions League. But now, I'm not going to be one of these fans that accepts that United are not going to be in the Champions League. You've got to accept that we're at this level right now. No, I'm not accepting it. I'm not. We got in there in Ten Hag's first season with what I think is a worse squad. We won a cup. We got in the top 4. We went close in the FA Cup. And, of course, we went far in the Europa League as well. So, no, I'm not accepting it. I think we have got enough quality within this squad. And I do believe that we should be performing better. I think Ten Hag has taken his team as far as he can in the league. I do think he can win the Europa League. And that's, like, again, why I said I think that's why he'll be in the job come the end of the season. I'll go back to what I just said about Christopher Vivil as well. I think United are preparing for that not happening. And United having to be very clever within the transfer market because we haven't got the riches of the Champions League and more money coming in. Daryl says, so it's my birthday next week and my wife always gets a United shirt with a player name. Dread to think who she got this year. I don't like any of them. Kobe Mainu, Daryl. That's who you're getting. I think she'll be sensible with it. She'll get you Kobe. I'm in also USA. Adam, I'm tired of Antony. Sure, he scores some big goals, but he doesn't do it game in, game out. He's a player we shouldn't have bought. Add him to Mount and Nana. Yeah, well, we can say that again, definitely. We do have a new member in the house, and I think I've skipped past it. Yes, there it is. Marcel Cheatham, welcome to the Members Club, my friend. Please say hello to Marcel, everybody, all current members. Creeping up to that 400 like mark. Make sure you like the video. Make sure that you also do subscribe to Forever United TV. We are, 72 is that away? 78 away, sorry, from the 58,000. 77 away from 58,000 subscribers right now. We are closing in on that 60k already. It only feels like yesterday we actually hit the 50k mark. We are moving fast, people. I think it is for the mix-up and just different content, actual, genuine, original mixing up of content. We do it differently here on Forever United TV, and if you have just subscribed, then you will see that, hopefully. Adam, we have no goal-scoring striker, or have you forgotten? In terms of what, mate? Forgotten from what? We have got enough goals in this team. Ten Hag needs to get more out of Rashford. I'll drop him. Try something different. Rasmus Højlund needs a team built around him that's going to cross the ball and feed into our number 9 striker. It's all on Ten Hag, mate. All on Ten Hag. I'm sick of people actually the players do take a lot of the blame. They do. And you know what? The last season, the players took the majority of the blame in throwing Ten Hag under the bus. And everyone went down that road. I think everybody now can see that these players are putting in the effort. They just don't know where to be. They don't handle adversity. They don't know what the system is. Like Casemiro complaining. This is a man that's been there and won everything. And we've talked about him enough today, and I'm not going to drag it on again. But if you can't find a place for Casemiro on your side that works for him, then there's something wrong with the system. So you take him out, or you build a system that works better. You have to be adaptable. And he is not that. He never has been that. And I don't think he ever will be. I think he's too bleeding stubborn to do it. He needs to change his ways, Eric Ten Hag. Otherwise, he is going to be left wanting big time. And I think he will miss out. I honestly do think he'll miss out on taking United to that next level that he wants to. I do. Winning games, Adam. Yeah, that's what I just said, Henry. It's up to Ten Hag. He's got enough players there to make this work. He needs to get more out of them, and that's the job of the manager. It really is. Ten Hag's system is wrong for the guys in our squad. The system does not match the ability of some of the players. It was obvious from the start of last season. Definitely agree on that one. That's exactly what I just said. I can't believe I even have to keep saying this. Ten Hag out. You're not the only one who is saying it, mate. There are plenty more people that are saying it, and it is getting a little bit hard to defend Ten Hag. Even the big Ten Hag inners are struggling with it right now. I did want to just mention, I've been talking to you guys about the sponsorship and prize that we've got for you guys. I know it's not an ideal place to go at the moment in going to Manchester United. I know it's not flavour of the month, but we do have some amazing prizes with our partners, football prizes. I'm just going to drop the link into the chat again for you guys just to click on. I'll pin it right to the top. I've got an actual visual for you guys in terms of what it actually is that you can win now as well. I know that always helps anyway. But yes, we have a Bruno Fernandes and Kobbie Mainoo signed, framed, fully authenticated shirt. You can also win, as you can see down the right-hand side there, hospitality tickets to all of Manchester United's home Europa League games. The first three are on the screen there. The fourth one does come into play as well. But spot tickets there, you can win. Buy your tickets and get your chance of winning this great prize. It is worth an absolute fortune, by the way, to get stuff like that. So, but please do only buy what you want and what you can afford. I'll have to make that point very, very clear to everybody. Don't be overspending. But I did sort of say I was going to offer people the opportunity to get more and a better chance of winning the prize. So if you did want to drop a comment in below with your Instagram tag, prove to me that you've got a ticket, I will get you another one to give you a better chance to get hold of the prize. Also, guys, make sure that you jump across onto the United Couple podcast. That is going on right now as well. It came out last night, episode 19 at 8 o'clock. Make sure that you tune into that also and check out me and Kaz behind the scenes, road tripping it after the Liverpool game and the nightmare that weekend was. So go check that out, give it a watch and give us your feedback on that as well. Just to go over the news again, just so you're all up to date, there is an offer in for Antony, and Fenerbahce have genuinely shown interest in the United winger. It's up to United whether or not they go for the deal. They have turned down deals before, obviously, because they needed a replace or wanted a replace. No, that was a big thing. Sorry, I said that wrong. It was United wanting to move Antony on permanently and not just on loan. So that was the issue. So if we were willing to sell Antony in the last days of the window, it clearly showed that United weren't bothered about bringing in a replacement for Antony. And I still feel like that is the case. And we will accept offers for him. It's just I don't think I'm pretty certain the loan deal doesn't work for United right now because they don't want to pay any wages. Pretty much like Casemiro earlier on. United are not up for paying anyone's wages. Permanent deals are the main thing for United, but the only reason I say could he be going simply to meet PSR regulations? We could save millions this season going up to our financials at the end of June 2025 if Antony is sent on loan and a chunk of his wages have gone. Maybe that is the case. Antony is what, 4th, 5th in the pecking order in the front line right now. He really is not going to get the chance what he hopes he's going to get to prove he is worth Manchester United standards. He can say it all he wants, but under Ten Hag, you're not going to get that chance. He can't afford to drop Rashford. Can't afford to drop Garnacho. Definitely not Ahmad either right now. There is a pecking order. Xerxes comes in ahead of him as well when Rasmus Højlund comes back. I even think Ten Hag would play Bruno on the right-hand side ahead of Antony right now, if you give him the choice. He's just not disciplined enough, not good enough in the final third, and he will be gone. He will be gone next summer at the latest, I feel. And I just feel like the writing has been on the wall for players like Antony ever since Ineos came in. He wasn't at the top of the to-do list because there were other pressing matters, but I've said it, like in the summer, the business that Ineos got done was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And right now, it's cleared the decks for United to do more business. And the players that are under scrutiny and the ones that are being talked about within United and what the new regime is looking at right now and players that need to have a season. So definitely gone next season is obviously Victor Lindelof and Harry Maguire. Marcus Rashford's under scrutiny. He will be sold if he doesn't pull it out this season. Antony is 100% going next season, next summer as well. And then you're looking at real clean slate sort of stuff. So it doesn't matter who the manager is now. That's what you need to remember. And I think what a lot of United fans are getting excited about is the fact that if another manager comes in, maybe he will change Andre Onana. Maybe he will bring another goalkeeper in. Maybe he rates the goalkeepers that are already there. Look, these players that United have bought this summer fit in with any manager's preparation, fit in with any manager's plans going forward. This is how they're building it right now. It's not all about what Ten Hag wants. It's not all about what he needs and how he needs to play. Ineos have a style of play they want Ten Hag to play. If he doesn't meet that standard, like was said earlier on in Fabrizio Romano's tweet, they want to see the new players integrated in and then make a judgment on performance with United. Let's not forget, the first thing that Sir Jim Ratcliffe said was he wants to see how this team performs. He wants them to actually play attacking, entertaining football. You all seen the pictures of Sir Jim Ratcliffe with his head in his hands at weekend watching United's pitiful effort against Liverpool. And it really was. It was an absolute disgrace to the Manchester United shirt. Every single player, barring some effort from Mainoo and probably Mazraoui, that was it. They were an absolute embarrassment to the fan base at weekend. And Sir Jim Ratcliffe will know this. 100,000-seater stadium. No one's going to come and watch Man United perform like that. He needs to get this team sorted before anything gets near building up this state-of-the-art stadium and this inspirational stadium for United to play from. It is a million miles away from being right. And the work that's gone on in the summer at the moment is looking for nothing. Ten Hag needs to turn it around. Players like Antony, though, are not going to cut it. They're really not. Vivil is looking like he is going to extend his stay after February when his original temporary contract is up. Obi Martin is going to be close, probably signed within the international break and all official, so he can join in with the other academy players. Lascelles as well. He will be also coming in and finalised and done. And we are looking forward in that department. Everything else at Manchester United right now, apart from the first team, looks pretty damn good. I had a poll running through the whole show, which has got nearly 1,400 votes on it. Thank you, everyone. Antony wants to prove himself, prove his worth at United. Will he get the chance? 60% of you have said no, he will not get the chance to do that. A few more minutes on the poll before we finish. Super chat in from You Got Ross. Thank you, buddy. Think they are going to have Radcliffe make the call on Erik Ten Hag? Question mark. So when Barada and Ashworth are asked, they can say that it wasn't their call and focus on their jobs. I don't really think so. I think it'll be down to Ashworth and Barada. So Jim Radcliffe knows what he wants. Everybody who's working for Sir Jim Radcliffe knows what he wants. And it's their job. Well, they're not going to put their reputation. So just to like, this is how I look at it. And I think this is how we all have to look at it, really. I'm not saying you have to. You don't have to agree with me. Of course not. I'm not that one. But I look at it this way. I say, look, Sir Jim Radcliffe has come into United. He's made the big statement. He wants to play a certain way. He wants to find a new Mbappe rather than buy the new Mbappe and all of that. But he wants United to be moving forward. And within 3 years, he wants to be performing at the top table of European football. He has brought the best in class in within that structure to help the manager get there. These people, these best in class, Vivil, Ashworth, Barada, Wilcox, all of these people, they're not going to be putting their reputations on the line and wasting what they do off the field for Ten Hag's ineptitude on it to not get the best out of this team. Like, yeah, they can say what they've said, like, we back Ten Hag, we back Ten Hag. It's a load of crap. If the team do not perform on the pitch and we keep falling further and further behind, Ten Hag will go. It's inevitable he will go. Ashworth isn't going to just do all this for it to be look like a complete waste of time. Neither is Barada. Like, Barada is sorting Manchester United's books out. Ashworth is pulling strings within the transfer market. Vivil is recruiting beyond. Wilcox is linking Ten Hag, the youth team, and talent across the globe together. All of these people are working overtime to make this work. And you've got Ten Hag, who plays midfielders up front, plays a right winger on the bleeding left, has inverted fullbacks who are not good enough to do that, and expects Casemiro to cover all of the mistakes of his system, being isolated where he is. Like, it's no wonder he was hugging and bigging up Agate in that video that's doing the rounds today, saying you're the one that's going to fight. What a stupid comment as well. Like, does that mean that no one else fights for you? He's bringing the fight for United. Well, everyone fights for United. These players have been actually putting the effort in. Like, the quality-wise, been shit. You can't say that they haven't been putting the effort in. They've just got no direction. No direction. That's all it is. Adam Stott looks so comfortable. So confident in his first 3 matches than Ten Hag does in 2 years. Yes, he does. Look, it can go wrong for Stott as well. Like, honestly, a couple of bad results and it's not looking as rosy. There's some big games coming up for them, but they do look good. They're doing exactly what they need to do to be up there right now. They're beating the teams they should beat, and they're taking the piss out of Man United. That's what Liverpool are doing right now. And they are, like people are saying, absolutely miles ahead of Manchester United in terms of a well-drilled, well-run football team. Everybody in Liverpool's team knows what they're doing. You cannot tell me that everyone in Manchester United's team knows what they're doing right now. They are nowhere near ready for what Ten Hag is throwing at them. How are we not ready for that Liverpool game with a full week's preparation and pretty much a full squad to pick from? What is Ten Hag going to do when all these players are back and United still underperform? I pray and I touch wood that they don't, and the players coming back do make a difference and prove Ten Hag right, because all I want to see is United winning. Go and prove us all wrong, Eric. But what we are seeing so far, and what we can only judge on, is what we have seen, is it's exactly the same as it was last season, and we're saying exactly the same things as we did last season. He can turn it around. He needs time. He needs time. People are still coming to me and saying Sir Alex Ferguson needed time. We're over 2 years in, and United are finishing 8th. United are 14th at the moment. If we don't get the results right, and we go into the second international break of the season, still in the bottom half of the table, that's getting close to sackable offence. And don't get me wrong, like the 2 games that we've got in the next group of games when we come back from international duty in FC 20 and Porto, he needs to win both of them. If he loses to Porto, which is a tough old game, by the way, and I don't want anyone making any excuses now saying we shouldn't be expected to win that. Look, we should be winning that. We need to be making a statement in the Europa League. We need to be at the 4 games we've got in the league. What is it? Southampton, Palace, Spurs and Villa. Spurs and Villa. Whew. Yeah, it could get dicey for Ten Hag. Very dicey. So like, you're looking at that. I think it's Spurs, Porto, Villa, all in a row. That could be crucial because that finishes that group of games and we go into international break off the back of them 3 games. Them 3 games are absolutely huge for Erik Ten Hag. And I feel like they're the ones that are going to determine what actually happens to him. I think if he gets through them, yes, because that means that we'll probably be top of the group because they expect us to beat FC 20. If we beat Porto, then he's not going anywhere. If he loses that, then the doubts will be there straight away for Ineos and United's new regime. I feel like if we can get anything, we need to beat Spurs at home. We can't be losing to our rivals at Old Trafford. Liverpool's enough. If Spurs beat us at Old Trafford, Ten Hag's in massive trouble because then I can't see us getting much out of Villa. Like, we got Villa at the right time last season away from home, and we got them cold. I don't think Unai Emery is going to make the same mistake again the next season along. I think they'll be ready for us this time. And if that's an embarrassment, that game, then I think Ten Hag writing could be on the wall. And then I'm going against what I said at the start. I know that he is going to be okay because of the Europa League, which is why Porto is probably the single biggest game for Ten Hag in the next 6, I think it is, before international break. That's the one. That's what, actually, I think it's 7 games we've got now in this next phase before the October international break. So it's Southampton, it's Barnsley, it's Crystal Palace, FC Twente, so there's 4. Then we've got Spurs, Porto, Villa. So 8, in fact. No, 7, sorry. 7 games in the next group of fixtures for Manchester United in between the 2 international breaks. That's what we've got, and they are absolutely crucial. 89-90 season, we just about won the FA Cup. Great away run and great fun at the games, and finished 11th. And we were lucky to finish as high as 11th, says Nick. The game has changed as well, guys, and we can't keep looking back about what happened with Sir Alex Ferguson. The competition right now for United is absolutely huge. Everybody is walking past us. Absolutely walking past us. But we somehow need to turn it around. Can we get 500 likes? We are just about to finish up, and we are about 27 likes away from the 500 live like mark. Thank you, everybody, for an amazing show. Your comments have been absolutely bang on the money tonight. Absolutely bang on the money. We finished the poll up there. 60% of you feel that Antony won't get the chance to prove what he's worth to Manchester United. I agree with the 60% personally. I do. Thank you for all your comments throughout the show. Please give the video a like. We're going to creep up and just get over that 500 mark. More importantly, make sure you've hit that subscribe button. We are 70 away from the 58k mark right now. Can you be one of them people that subscribe and help us get to that mark tonight? We will see. And again, thank you mods, thank you members, everybody. Make sure you drop into the description for the link. Again, football prizes is in the live chat as well. Grab your opportunity to win a signed Bruno and Kobe Mainu shirt, signed, framed together, fully authenticated. That's us done for the evening. Have a good one, everyone. I will see you bright and early in the morning, 8 o'clock for your update show. And yeah, more positivity, I promise. Have a good one. See you later, everyone.